Welcome to Working at UIC 101, the Employee Grievance Process. The Employee Grievance Process is a formal process at UIC for resolving an employee complaint of a management action or decision that is unfair, inappropriate, or inconsistent with policy, rules, or a collective bargaining agreement. What you will need to know about the employee grievance process includes your responsibilities in dealing with the complaint made by an employee, how to discern a grievance from other types of complaints, the general steps of a grievance process, how to identify a specific grievance resolution policy based on employee status, and where to find support and counsel. Your responsibilities in dealing with an employee complaint are as follows. A complaint made by an employee may be written or verbal. Listen to the employee respectfully and without judgment. Determine if the complaint is a grievance or other type of claim. Identify and adhere to the appropriate resolution procedure depending on its nature. And, always, seek support and counsel early and often. Not all employee complaints qualify as grievances, and you will need to discern between these different types of complaints in order to apply the correct resolution policy. For instance, if the complaint involves discrimination, that is, it is based on a protected class of person, refer the complaint to the Office for Access and Equity. If the complaint alleges wrongdoing, that is, an allegation of unethical or illegal behavior, refer the complaint to the University Ethics Office. The complaint may be one of labor management conflict if the employee identifies a supervisor as unprofessional or makes a general claim of bad management. In such cases, refer the complaint to Labor and Employee Relations. A complaint of unfair labor practices is one which alleges discrimination, retaliation, or interference because of an employee's union activity. Again, refer this type of complaint to Labor and Employee Relations. And finally, a complaint that qualifies as a grievance is one that alleges a management action or decision that is unfair, inappropriate, or inconsistent with policy, rules, or a collective bargaining agreement. In general, the process for dealing with an employee grievance is as follows. The employee communicates a grievance for review and discussion. A written grievance is then submitted, and a decision is rendered within a mandatory time period. Usually the employee may appeal the decision. Also, the specific grievance policy may give the employee the right to appeal to an outside authority. For instance, civil service employees may have an appeal to the Merit Board for violations of civil service statute and rules, and in cases of discharge. Union employees may have a right to arbitration. The specific grievance process that you should adhere to is determined by the employee's status. For academic professionals, refer to policy UIC HRPP 1101. For non-union civil service employees, refer to HR policy UIC HRPP 1102. And for civil service union members, always refer to the specific employment contract. These contracts can be found on the UIC HR website. When dealing with a grievance from a civil service union member, the grievance must be based on a violation of the collective bargaining agreement. There are two types of grievances that you should be aware of. Contract violations are those that cite violation of specific language in the contract, such as work schedule, shift, overtime, meal breaks, vacation, seniority, etc. Disciplinary actions are grieved as violation of the contract and concept of just cause. We will examine each of these types of grievances more closely. In contract violation grievances, rights are based on specific contract language. If the language is general or unclear, and UIC and civil service rules are also nonspecific, there is no violation. Absent specific contract language, a violation may be based on the concept of past practice. Past practice must be consistent over a long period of time and mutually agreed to. The union has the burden of proof. Past practice is often used by the union when management implements any kind of change. A discipline grievance is one in which an employee claims disciplinary action was taken without just cause. There are 7 tests you can apply to determine if just cause was met. 1. Notice and warning of disciplinary consequences was given before action was taken. 2. The rule was reasonable and related to a legitimate business interest. 3. Before discipline was administered, an investigation was made to determine the facts. 4. The investigation was fair and objective, prompt and thorough, with eyewitnesses and evidence documentation. 5. Substantial evidence or proof indicates that the rule or policy was broken. 6. The rule and subsequent penalty or discipline has been applied even-handedly, without bias or discrimination. And 7. The degree of discipline was reasonably related to the seriousness of the offense and the employee's prior record. Following are a few tips to keep in mind when responding to union grievances. Keep it simple. It's okay to simply say grievance denied. Keep a copy and return a copy of the grievance to the union. Deny the grievance if it is filed untimely. A prior decision is binding if untimely. Don't make promises in informal grievance discussions or labor management meetings that could set a precedent or become binding. Leave negotiations to labor relations. When in doubt, consult. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Explain the reason for a change or use discretion when circumstances require it. Finally, be a good listener and treat people fairly. Never retaliate. If you have questions about the employee grievance process or would like to consult with someone, please contact the appropriate UIC department. To further familiarize yourself with this topic, please download the PDF version of this presentation. Thank you for watching. We hope this Working at UIC 101 module has been helpful.